A young teacher and her student have an unhealthy relationship. She will do everything possible to find a solution to this problem and not go to extremes. To find out how she will do this, watch the full video. The movie begins by introducing us to a high school teacher named Lana. She is married and has a daughter named Rasha. In the high school where she teaches, there is Benny, a handsome student who behaves insolently during class and spends his time looking at Lana very explicitly. He seems to be in love with her, and Lana also feels a little attracted to him, but she is not sure how she is supposed to take care of Benny because he is just one of her students. Lana, therefore, tries to curb this attraction as much as possible. Then, Lana picks up her daughter Rasha from school. She tells her that her day was particularly boring and Lana laughs. One day, one of Lana's students is giving a presentation and the teacher realizes that there are two girls laughing while watching a movie on their phone. She then confiscates the phone of one of the two, Valerie, who mocks Lana by letting her know that she is just an old witch. The whole class laughs when they hear this and Lana threatens to complain to the administration. During the break, Lana is having tea and suddenly realizes that Benny is looking for trouble with Valerie. He empties her bag on the floor and breaks her bike by throwing it to the ground. The next day, after class, she goes to see Benny and tells him that she would like to talk to him about something. She quickly takes him to a classroom and asks him to sit down. She asks him if he feels good at school and in class, but Benny does not respond and remains evasive. Instead, he asks Lana what she wants from him. Perplexed, Lana responds that she is only worried about him and reminds him that he should not have behaved that way with the girls in his class. She puts her hand on her thigh and tells him that if he needs anything, he can ask her. "It's a big mistake, Professor." Then she goes to the bathroom, crouches down, and drinks from the faucet. When she lifts her head, she realizes that Benny has joined her and starts to feel stressed. He grabs her chest directly with his hand and she pushes him away. But Benny does it again with a seductive smile on his face. He even dares to kiss her on the cheek. She notices that he is not cold in the eyes. It works and she surrenders in his arms, but suddenly regains consciousness and immediately stops him in his tracks. She tells him sternly that this is impossible between them. Benny raises his voice and says that he knows she wants him. Lana responds that she doesn't want any trouble with one of her students. The next day, in the school hallway, Benny tells Lana that he would like to see her after class, but she refuses outright. They go down the stairs together while talking and Lana insists that she is embarrassed about what happened between them. She adds that Benny should forget any unhealthy thoughts he may have about her. She leaves him with these words and goes to the parking lot where she discovers that one of her mirrors is broken and her car has been scratched. Later, her husband, Wad, asks her how this happened and she responds that she hit a lamppost. Her husband, cautiously, asks her how a lamppost can cause this type of scratches. Confused, she simply responds that it happens sometimes. Wad then points out that his tea is getting cold and leaves. The next day, Lana asks her students to write a sample letter for an internship application and asks if they have any questions about it. Benny raises his hand and asks if she plans to quit her job because he saw her go to see the principal. The whole class laughs and Lana informs them that she will complain to the principal about him. Benny, always cheeky, says out loud that it's probably because he likes to graze the principal's lawn. At that moment, Lana gets angry, takes her bag and throws it out of the classroom. She adds that either Benny leaves or she leaves, but they will have to make a decision. At the same time, another student throws a brush at the blackboard and misses Lana. Seeing this, Lana runs out of the classroom in anger and the students start applauding. The next day, while Lana helps Rasha with her homework, her phone starts ringing over and over again. When she finally decides to answer, there is no one on the other end of the line. The next day, when Lana arrives at school, she is surprised to see Benny sitting alone in class very early. In a panic, she tells the receptionist that she doesn't feel well and goes straight home. In the evening, while preparing dinner, Wad asks her how her day was. She lies and says that she was at the high school all day, overwhelmed with her students and grading papers. Although she is lying, she feels guilty somewhere for hiding the truth. The next day, instead of going to work, Lana decides to get some fresh air and visits a river to eat an apple. She then goes to the museum and observes the paintings for quite some time. Suddenly, she runs into Benny and panics. She tries to escape, but he catches her in the elevator. Benny confesses to Lana that he has missed her and that she is the only reason he goes to class. He approaches her and begins to touch her chest. Lana starts to lose control of her thoughts and tries to kiss him. This time, Benny stops her and begins to touch her whole body. That night, Lana has many nightmares and wakes up in a panic, but she doesn't want to worry her family. The next day, she breaks into the school director's office and steals the exams. When all the students are in the cafeteria for lunch, Lana hides the exams in Benny's jacket to catch him. After security catches Benny for stealing the exams, Lana sits in the break room and chats with other teachers. She watches as security takes Benny away, and although he has been punished for stealing the exams, Lana begins to miss him and remember the past moments with him. One day, Lana and Rasha go to the bookstore to buy a book for Rasha's girlfriend, but when Rasha forces Lana to buy her a stuffed animal, Lana refuses. Rasha runs away and disappears from her sight. Lana starts looking for her, and after 45 minutes she goes to ask security to see the surveillance cameras. On the tapes, she sees that Benny was following them and panics when she sees him leaving the store with Rasha. At that moment, she receives a call from her husband Wad and is filled with joy to hear that Rasha is at home with him. She thanks the security guards and goes home. At night, while her whole family is sleeping deeply, Lana hears noises at the door. She goes to check and discovers that it's only in her head. She goes out and the noises disappear. She begins to imagine doing things with Benny all night. Early in the morning, when Wad wakes up, Lana regains her senses and hugs him. Later, Lana decided to drive to Benny's and waited for him to come out a few meters away. Finally, when Benny got on his scooter, Lana decided to follow him. Once they arrived at an isolated and quiet place, she accelerated abruptly and hit Benny's scooter to knock him down. Then, Lana parked her car a few meters ahead and got out to see if Benny was finally clear. This act shows that she was willing to do anything to get Benny out of her life, even risking her own life and that of her family. This is the end of the movie. I hope you enjoyed this summary. Feel free to comment on what kind of movies you would like to see summarized. Click on one of the images on the screen to continue discovering more. See you soon for a new video. Take care.